Hi guys, probably the most important of Rishi Sunak's 5 pledges, which is unlikely to be respected as we go into 2024, was to cut NHS waiting lists. He promised they would fall. Instead, they have increased. Reducing the waiting list was probably the most important because it is key to other areas. A healthy workforce is a more productive one. You can't expect to grow the economy if more and more people are off sick or waiting up to years for important medical interventions. Beth Rigby of Sky News highlighted the problem with this promise and why he failed to respect it.
And then there's the two that I would argue are the more retail end of the offer. That is on the NHS and on stopping the boats. And on both of those, I would say they are very much... Actually, on the NHS, it was very much in the red zone. That pledge is, I don't think I can say this with some confidence. I don't think he's going to hit that pledge.
But he would say, well, the reason for that is the doctors, it's the nurses, they're striking.
Well, then, you know, the counter argument to make to that is, as Prime Minister, if that is your pledge and you've got a series of strikes, maybe don't make that pledge, don't choose that to be one of your 5 things, or try and do a deal with the doctors and nurses. And again, it really matters to people, right? Because it's their hip operation or it's a non-emergency of an operation that they need and they're having to wait. And that's a very tangible frustration for people.
Yes, well said. It's a tangible frustration people have. Now, let's get back to the main point here, the pledge. Why the hell did he make this pledge while there were strikes taking place? And why didn't he work out a deal, come to some sort of agreement with the trade unions in order to achieve his goal? Because what he's doing now instead is, well, I couldn't achieve my goal because of strikes. But why did you have the goal in the first place? Or as was pointed out by Beth Rigby here, why didn't you come to an agreement with the trade unions? It shows a complete lack of understanding. Like, who is running his campaign? Who is in charge at number 10? Does Rishi Sunak actually have a functioning brain? Because if his advisors are saying, what you should do is come up with 5 pledges. Okay, let's work together. What are these 5 pledges? One of them is to reduce NHS waiting lists. That's a vote winner. If we can reduce the NHS waiting list, then I can show this to the public. We have brought them down, means you're waiting less time for your medical intervention, or you're able to get back into the workplace as soon as possible. And, you know, we're bringing it down. There was the pandemic, yes, but we're dealing with that. Now, you would imagine if that was his pledge, he would throw everything at it to achieve that, because it would actually serve him politically. But he did nothing. He hasn't met with the trade unions. He hasn't spoken to them. He hasn't tried to listen to their grievances, try to understand what they need and provide them with what they need in order to end the strike. And he hasn't done anything when it comes to the NHS about bringing down the waiting list in other ways. He hasn't provided the NHS with extra funding in order to deal with this. He hasn't provided it with the staff it needs. He's done nothing. So what was the plan? What was the point in having this pledge of bringing down the waiting list if you had nothing in place to deal with that? And I don't believe for a moment that this was just a slogan like get Brexit done. Didn't really mean anything. It's something tangible. People have a real understanding of the waiting list. They know that, you know, when they go to their GP and they ask for a medical appointment in the NHS, an intervention, an operation or something, they're being told, well, you're going to have to wait 6 months or you're going to have to wait 2 years or something like that. And people understand that. That's something real. It's not something intangible, something abstract. It's a real impact on their lives. And if they're waiting to get back into the workplace, if they're off sick, this has an impact on their lives and on the economy. So it really begs the question, what was going through Rishi Sunak's mind or the minds of his advisors when they came up with this pledge? Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.